Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saur Darkchylde, and finally, welcome to the finale of Let's Replay Ace Attorney Investigations. I hope you are ready for this, because this is definitely gonna be our final testimony that we're gonna have to cross-examine said Ambassador Elba to try to pin him on the murder for his crimes. So, let's get on with it. Let's waste no time. March 15th, 2019, 3:33 a.m. Theoretum, Neutralis, his lobby. Mr. Albee, I request that you testify once more.
As if there is anything else for me to testify about.
I still have yet to fully prove that it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Cochin. Well, I would like to hear about your motivations, movements before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Theoretum Neutralis.
Very well. I suppose I could tell you about that. Because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai stage show.
Elaborating on even that alone is good enough for me. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is the key to this investigation. The Steel Samurai Show. This is the final testimony.
I watched from the last row. Oh, the stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear I was there, in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Oh, is that proof enough for you? Those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them.
So you were in the theater proper, watching the Steel Samurai stage show, were you?
Of course I was, 'cause I have a great fondness for the Steel Samurai.
Yeah, I was pretty cool up there, wasn't I? You're not the one who was cool, it's the Steel Samurai who was cool.
Yeah, and the Steel Samurai special finishing move today was really something, huh?
Huh? Hey, Edgy! Who is she? Hey, who is this super cute girl? She's been standing here the whole time, and only now he's noticing her? This is Care Faraday, and she's helping me in my investigation.
Sorry, I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but better late than never.
Yes, okay, I'm Larry Potts! Silence in the peanut gallery. There's no time for such trivialities. He's at a time like this. Mr. Prosecutor, this is the final battle. You got that? I know. This is the end. For that man there. Now that's the kind of thing I'd like to hear. I think I'll give trusting you a try, Mr. Prosecutor. Or rather, Mr. Edgeworth. I leave this critical battle up to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Have no fear, I will finish the job. This really is the end game. The time has come to expose every last one of Mr. Elba's lies.
I watched from the last row. Oh, the stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear, I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Oh, is that proof enough for you?
Hold it!
Well, I remember the contents of the show myself. Oh,
That's nice.
that's nice.
Miles Edgeworth, don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture.
I wasn't planning to let him.
Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest steel samurai expert around here. And didn't you think the climactic scene of today's show was just totally awesome?
Yes, I remember that as well. And that spectacular special move.
The way you delivered the final blow against the evil magistrate. Early summer rain jab. Oh, that scene will live on in my heart forever. Is that how it went? I totally forgot about it.
How can you forget your own special moves? That's the special attack that the Steel Samurai uses when he's using the Samurai Spear.
Yes, and today was the first time they showed it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, then how could I answer you with the name of the move?
I suppose you are correct, but if you could, please elaborate on this point for me.
One of the scenes was his never-before-seen early summer jab, rain jab move.
Gotcha!
Objection!
The special move today was the early summer rain jab. Is that your final answer?
Objection!
You little irritating gnat. Do you think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over?
That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. However, I believe it would be wise of you to take a look at this.
The samurai spear? What about it?
This spear actually never made it on the stage today.
Excuse me?
Unfortunately for you, tonight's Steel Samurai happened to be a goof-off of a young man and with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Having said that, said useless man and bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Okay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai special move was tonight?
It was the Steel Samurai Sushi Slash.
Correct. Because he couldn't use the spear, a last-minute change was made. Had you really been watching the show, you would have known that the move that was used. Kirkas Alba. You didn't watch even a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show tonight, didn't you?
Aha! So if he wasn't watching the show tonight,
Then it opens up the possibility that he was busy killing Mr. Koshin instead. So, where were you doing the show? Oh, I demand an answer now. Just what is so funny?
you're so sloppy. And so are your conclusions. I still insist that I watch the show. Or or most of it in any case.
What do you mean by most of it?
As you see, during the show, I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assume that was when that dramatic scene was played out on stage. That's the lousiest, lamest excuse I've ever heard in my life, pal! Just because he got the name of the move wrong? We can't really use that as proof that he didn't watch the show at all! As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I had wanted to watch the entire show, honest.
As a Steel Samurai fan? For someone who wasn't even in his seat at the climax of the show? You have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan, ever!
Who was that just now?
It would be I, young lady! Larry, what are you doing interrupting me like that?
Angie, just hold on a second, I beg! You may never accept this old man as the Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he was a Steel Samamaniac. What exactly is a Steel Samamaniac, sir, pal?
I believe he meant to say that he is a Steel Samurai maniac.
Yeah! And trust me, I know a real fan when I see one, because I am a Steel Samurai!
I will never acknowledge you as the true Steel Samurai!
Well, why are you getting all worked up over, Mr. Edgeworth? It appears that the real Steel Samurai, recognizes me as a fan. As well as he should, for I am a fan. It's not as though I missed the entire show. It was a most amazing show, filled with some spirit of the young and the young at heart. The sarcasm dripping from his long, wooden nose couldn't run any thicker.
Getting by a name of the move wrong only proves that he didn't watch the last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links Mr. Alba directly to the murder of Manny Kochin.
You know what, Gramps? You're really something else.
I'm honored to receive such praise from the Steel Samurai. But what is it for?
Well, I was just wondering how you found out about the early summer rain jab. That move is a bit of a secret, and only a small portion of the staff knows about it.
Wait, it was a secret? Larry, wait, what did you just say?
Huh? Did I say something stupid again?
Did you say, hey, that the early summer rain jab was actually a secret?
Well, maybe I shouldn't have said secret. It's more like we only decided on the name of the move right after the start of the show.
Right before?
Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut that move. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room's whiteboard. Early summer, her rain jab. That's kinda how we decided on the name of the move. But by that time I'd already bent the spear, so I guess the whole thing was kinda pointless.
All of you Steel Samurai actors are the same. The director has my complete sympathy.
So basically, because we changed the move to the sushi slash, we kinda pretended that the early summer rain jab doesn't exist at all. I mean, it'd be bad if someone found out we changed the move, so we made it a secret.
So basically a gag order was issued to for publicity's sake.
It almost makes the early summer rain jab sound like a lost art.
Yeah, which is why I think most of the staffs haven't even heard of the move.
Hold those lips of yours still.
What the heck, old man?
I've done nothing but listen, and from what I can tell, it's all very related to the case. Unrelated to the case. It's also very tedious and a pointless exercise in wasting time, much like a kid's show.
Mr. Alba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you.
How dare you?
I suspect that you've already noticed exactly what the very severe implications are in this man's testimony.
Ha! So, now you're trying to bully me, huh? There is no implication to be read into a behind-the-scenes story for a kid's show.
Don't even think about trying to slither your way out of this, his Elba. You were the one who said it yourself, that the name of the move was the early summer rain jab. But that name was only decided right before the show was about to start.
So, just what are you driving at? That the name of the move you told us was never used in the show or said aloud.
Now then, would you care to tell us how you found out the name of that move?
Because I can only think of one way you could have known.
Curtis Elba, this is the only way you could have have known the name of the special move? You knew the name of the move because you saw it. You saw it on the dressing room's whiteboard. The staff members who knew were keeping it a secret. So, you couldn't have simply gone up to the staff member and asked. Which means that the only other option left is that you saw it on the whiteboard.
So that means that Mr. Alba was in the waiting room? At some point, right?
But what's the big deal, sir? I don't see what that means.
There is another piece of evidence and that has a great deal to do with the dressing room. So we can't afford to let this slide. This is related to both the dressing room and Mr. Cochin's murder.
Take that!
The pushcart that was used to move the body, he was right there in the dressing room. And during the show, the pushcart awaited its turn to be pushed on stage in the dressing room. And it was finally pushed there, along with the Iron Infant in the last scene of the show. And then, right after the show, it went into the alabaster along with the steel samurai. Which means that the only time the killer could have placed the body inside the pushcart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage.
So basically the killer has to be somewhere who visited the dressing room during the show.
Precisely.
Gah! Oh, but wait. What if, and this is a what if the murder didn't take place in the dressing room?
What do you mean, Kay?
I have to admit, she brings up a valid possibility. During the show, the dressing room was supposed to be devoid of people.
Anyone going into the private dressing room would stand out like a sore thumb.
But despite that, the killer still managed to move the body with the pushcart.
Correct. And it is because of the setup of the theater's dressing room. That it would be the ideal location for the murder of Manny Cochin. Kirkus Elba. During the show, you went down to the dressing room, and I just want to know why.
Yes. Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room. I knew it. Hey, I'm placing you under arrest right now, pal. You got that? Arrest!
Objection!
Not so fast. What is it now?
Don't I deserve a chance to explain myself?
Explain? What is there to explain?
I believe I told you earlier that I went to the bathroom. Well, I got lost when I did. I wanted to ask for directions, but when I opened the dressing room door, no one was inside. And that's when I saw the name of the move on the whiteboard.
You punk! Still trying to get out of this?
Do you really think you can get away at this point?
Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything you can do to stop him?
I don't have enough evidence on hand to do anything. I don't have an airtight evidence, hence I need to put this man away for good. But if that's what I need, then perhaps... Agent Lang, I believe an investigation of the dressing room in question is in order. It's possible we may find new evidence there.
Yeah, if Mr. Edward pokes around in there, I'm sure he'll find new facts, pal.
Oh, and if we use Little Thief, we may even learn something from a recreation.
We don't need to do any of that.
What? Wolfie, how could you?
I'm not saying this to be mean. It's just that we've already searched there. My men really are something else.
And they found something?
There's only one thing I can say to you, sis, and it's that they found nothing. That's it.
I guess you're right. If they had found something, they would have reported it to us. They couldn't find anything because there was nothing there to find. And if there is no info to feed into Little Thief, then I can't do much to help either.
Is this the end? The murder took place in this theater, which is not protected under extraterrestrial rights. And the fact that it was Mr. Alba himself who committed the murder. If I can't prove both statements to be true, Mr. Alba walks away a free man. Is there no other course of action left for us?
It appears that your hand of cards has turned out to be a bust. Now, if you will excuse me. Because of you people, I missed my flight. Now, I must make haste and arrange for a new one. Who is it this time?
Oh no.
Hold it right there, you whippersnappers.
First Larry and now you?
What is with that scared monster lady scowl on your face, Edgy Poo? Don't treat me like I'm some sort of nuisance. I've been needing to say this, but all of you keep talking about things I don't get at all. You're all leaving this lady out in the sad, depressing, lonely dust that I'm about to cry in.
Why did you have to speak up right at this instant?
But you know what, Edgy Poo? Cheer up. Because I'm about to give you the most wonderful thing.
The most wonderful thing? From you?
It's so super special that I couldn't give it away to just anyone, you know. My special present of love to my sweet Edgy Poo. Are you ready? It's this.
It's
a box of those samurai dogs, right?
Yes. Oh, Edgy Poo. Here, go on and eat one, and you'll feel right as rain. Are we through here? Why did everyone get so quiet all of a sudden? Edgy Poo. Tell me you understand the depths of this lady's love for you. I'm not one to hand out snacks willy-nilly, you know. No, sir. The third...
Oh, there she goes. I thought so. There's... Just gotta wait for her to stop.
Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do anything about her?
There's no power on earth that can force that woman into silence.
But I'm also sick and tired of it. All of you people do is look down on me. Even this box of samurai dogs played me for a fool. I had a special design on its fan. It had a special design on its fan, like a Japanese flag. So I thought it was special. But when I ate one, it tasted like one, just like all the rest. Oh, it made me so mad.
Wait, a special box with a Hinamaru-like fan on it? I hope I pronounced that right. Have I ever heard of such a piece of merchandise existing before? However, there is the red rising sun on this fan and is filled in. Is it possible? Could it be? After the show, the samurai dogs were piled up on the dressing room floor. However, there is no such thing as a rising sun dog. This contradiction of facts between something that should not exist, yet it does. The rays of this rising sun may be just what we need to point us in the right direction.
A present?
The studio bigwigs basically told us to play delivery boys. We're supposed to hand the dogs off to the embassy people and tell them hi. I hid the pile of them into the push cart just to move them all. I believe I understand and what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Cochin and at this theater, and then placed his body inside the cart. And then you forced the Steel Samurai to unwittingly move the body for you. It's about time to place the final pieces of the logic puzzle together. No matter how fragile or small the connection may be. Once we've found them all the way to the truth will be revealed.
Last time we're doing logic mode. Okay.
The killer used the push cart to transport the body, which means that they had to remove the samurai dogs from within first. Therefore, the samurai dogs that were piled on the dressing room floor, were most likely taken out of the push cart by the killer. which should not exist. This box of the samurai dogs with the Hinamaru on it. If this red rising sun was filled in when the killer was busy removing the dogs from the pushcart, then it's proof that the murder took place in the dressing room. As long as this red substance turns out to be what I believe it to be, Wendy Oldbag, I thank you. What you have given me is truly something very special.
Edgy poo.
Mr. Edgeworth, are you sure you're feeling okay, sir?
Mr. Alba, I suspected had you killed Mr. Kochin in the dressing room.
How many times must I listen to you repeat yourself? Haven't you figured it out yet? Your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. The only way I'm going to continue to cooperate is with some definitive evidence.
That arrogance, that self-confidence. I believe that you erased every piece of evidence that could incriminate you. However, there remains one piece here, and it is what will put you away for good.
Ha! You're bluffing.
Oh, Mr. Prosecutor, sounds like you finally found them. You finally found the fangs we need to go after this guy's jugular. So tell us, what about that box of samurai dogs is going to put the old man away?
The trace evidence that will bring him down, why, it's here, of course. This box of samurai dogs with the rising sun fan on it, this should never have existed. So, I want you all to take a good look at this red spot. It's a single drop of blood.
Huh? What? Blood, you say?
Agent Lang, I'd like this blood analyzed post-haste.
I gotta admit, I'm a bit surprised. I can't believe we found blood in a place like this. Hey you, get this down to the lab, pronto!
But why was there blood on that box to begin with?
If we think about the flow of the crime, I think the reason will become obvious. Larry, you said that you transported the samurai dogs with the pushcart, correct?
Yeah. You have a great memory, Edgy. That pushcart was a bit too big for my son, so you know what I mean? So to make sure everyone could see him, I had to pile stuff in. I figured the samurai dogs were there, so I used them to fill up the cart.
If what Larry says is true, then what are the boxes doing on the floor?
Ah, I see. The killer took them out in order to place the body in the pushcart.
Exactly. And that is when I believe the victim's blood was found its way onto that box.
But when my man investigated that room, not a single box of samurai dogs was in there. because embassy staff members had already confiscated them.
Yes, no doubt to hide the evidence of the murder.
It's a good thing Miss Allbag managed to steal that one box before they got to them, huh? Looks like Miss Allbag also managed to put the great thief to shame. What a scandalous way to put that. Putting that. I didn't steal, I received it for myself.
Kirkus Elba. I'd say this was your very fatal oversight on your part.
Sorry to rain on your little love fest, however.
How can he be so confident in a no-win situation for him like this?
Even if that bloodstain turns out to be Mr. Cochin's, then what? So, Mr. Edgeworth, it sounds like he's not really ready to call it quits, huh?
The sole piece of evidence that was left at the scene of the crime, that alone has shed light on a new fact. At the very least, we now have proof that the murder occurred in the dressing room.
And? You say that like it means something? Huh?
Excuse me, sirs.
Report. What were the results of the analysis?
Sir, the analysis came back and that red substance is blood.
I knew it! With this, Kirkus Elba... Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might humor my question.
Your question?
The one from before, or have you forgotten? Even if Mr. Cochin's blood... Even if that is Mr. Cochin's blood, what difference would it make? Like we already told you, it proves that the crime scene was at the dressing room. But it doesn't prove that I am the killer, does it? Gah, that's...
He has a very good point. The blood on that box doesn't prove that Mr. Elba is the killer.
Then, this evidence, it's meaningless?
That can't be! We were so close, sir!
I want to smack that smug look off his face. Come on, there's gotta be something we can do.
We finally found a solid piece of evidence, and there must be something that I can expose of it. I can't think of a single thing!
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way. Who was that? It's too late! I won't allow anyone to stop me now!
It wasn't me, pal! And it wasn't me this time either!
It wasn't me either.
It was me!
Why did you...
Because I haven't finished reporting everything to you yet, sir.
There's more?
What? Hurry up and spit it out! Yes, sir! That blood I mentioned, it's not the same blood type as the victim's blood.
No!
What? What do you mean it's not the same blood type? Hey, you mean it's not the victim's blood? If it isn't his, then who the hell's is it? I don't know, sir. All I know is that it's not the same blood type as the victim's, sir.
What should we do now, Mr. Edgeworth? I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Neither do I.
My, what an amusing turn of events. That blood drop proves something to be true, all right. Namely, my words.
And which one of your words would that be?
The ones where I said that your words are meaningless, powerless, and useless. Meaningless, powerless, and worthless. That blood has nothing to do with the murder investigation whatsoever. Need I remind you that the blood got onto that box long before I entered my embassy? What sort of nonsense?
Yeah, it's blood, pal. There's no way it's not related to the murder.
So you would like to believe. But what if someone preparing the samurai dogs had a small nosebleed? What then?
Yeah, I guess that's possible. Damn it. Have we been wasting our time on a red herring?
The blood doesn't belong to anyone connected to the case. That should be a clue enough.
Curtis Elba, you bastard!
Silence! Don't you ever address me with such a filthy word again! I've wasted enough time here with you, and you have your answers. Now let me through!
Elba, it doesn't matter where you run off to. You'll never escape me. Someday I'll have the satisfaction of sinking my fangs into you. You'll see. And all of Interpol will be behind me, working to see to it that the day comes.
Do you know what your words sound like to me? They sound like the whining of a pathetic little loser mutt. Arrgh!
Is it really the extent of all that we can do? Is the blood really from someone completely unrelated to the case? Or is there another possibility? Someone else other than the victim? Just when I thought I had him backed into a corner, it is I who had been backed into one. In a situation like this, what am I to do? What would he do? What would he who can turn any desperate situation around do? Turn it around? That's it. I must turn my way of thinking around. It's not whose blood is this. It's whose blood could get onto this box like this. And if I think about it that way, if the blood got onto the box when the body was being placed into the pushcart, then the owner of said blood must have been in the dressing room at that time. And there is only one person that could be.
Well, I must praise you for trying so hard. It's because you kids, I was removed from center stage. And will be forced to live out the rest of my life in the shadows, unfortunately. But it's not a total loss, as the underworld will allow me more freedom than you'll ever know. Freedom like what the raven feels when it flies through the dark night sky. You can't lay a finger on me, not now or ever. The arm of the law is powerless before me.
Powerless, is it? I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you.
What do you mean?
Allow me to describe you in one word. Pitiful.
Pitiful? How so?
Curtis Elba, your wings were clipped long ago. And for someone who is trying to fly away on them, and without noticing that fact, pitiful is the perfect word to describe you.
Ha! Mere words. What do you mean by his wings were clipped, Mr. Edgeworth?
Just what you think it means, Kay. We had already caught him in our trap a while back. With an incredibly powerful definitive piece of evidence.
Hey! Earth to the prosecutor! Care to speak in English? What are you talking about? Oh, what piece of evidence?
The piece of evidence I speak of course, is this drop of blood. But we know that it's not from the victim. I don't see how it remains relevant to the case at all. Ms. Bone Karma, I believe that is exactly why it's very important to the case. And the part that is most important is the fact that it's not the victim's blood. You're looking a little pale. Good. Then I believe you are already aware of what I mean.
Then, you know whose blood it belongs to. You know who the blood belongs to.
Of course I do. This piece of evidence is the irrefutable proof that will stop the killer in his tracks. The blood that soiled this box of samurai dogs belongs to this person.
Take that!
The blood of the rising sun on this box belongs to you, Curtis Elba. What?
What? Why is his blood on the box of samurai dogs? He's not even a victim.
The blood fell onto the box when Mr. Cochin's body was being loaded into the pushcart. At that time, the only two people in the dressing room were the victim and his killer.
So that's what you mean. If the blood doesn't belong to the victim, then there is only one other person it could belong to.
Yes, and that person is the murderer himself. that's the only logical conclusion.
But Mr. Coachum was the one who was stabbed, sir. Why would Mr. Alba have been the one who was bleeding?
What if during the murder, Mr. Coachum had fought back?
You mean, if before Mr. Alba could kill him, Mr. Coachum managed to wound Mr. Alba?
Yes, and I believe we have a piece of evidence that proves that he was bleeding then. What piece of evidence? And shows that Mr. Alba was already bleeding at the time.
Hello. What else would it be?
Take that!
Mr. Alba, you bear on your body a great wound.
That was from the Damask who attacked me. He with the pair of scissors.
Yeah, and that happened way after he was in the dressing room.
Ah, but is that what really happened? Can you manufacture a weapon by smearing blood on it? So, I can't just accept that as a fact. Shall we try a test, Mr. Alba, and see if the shape of your wound matches the scissors?
You really are something else, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't let a single thing slip you by, no matter how insignificant the possibility.
You're one to talk, Mr. Alba. You've managed to give the law the slip for 10 years as the smuggling ring's leader. No matter the danger, you can hide every once a fear, at least once in a fear and anxiety from everyone. You truly are a one-of-a-kind criminal.
I am the master of my fear. However, to think that a person such as you could miss such a large thing.
You believe I overlooked something?
You said that my wound was caused by Mr. Coachum, and that it was caused here in one of the theater's dressing rooms, huh?
Yes, that is correct.
I'd like to point out that it's simply not possible. My wound is a stab wound, and one that would only have come from a blade. I wonder where you will propose that such a weapon came from. This theater was packed with security guards. It would have been impossible for anyone to come into this area with a weapon of any sort. Just as Mr. Alba was able to bring in an alabaster knife, if in a bouquet, there must have been some other way to sneak in a weapon of some sort. But as long as you can't prove what that other way is, all of your talk about Mr. Coachum stabbing me is pure nonsense. So, if that other way does exist, You'd better hurry up and tell me now.
With pleasure.
Wait, what?
This piece of evidence shows us how Mr. Cochin brought a weapon into the theater.
Take that!
Among law enforcement, this piece of evidence is known as the Yatagarasu key.
That key!
That's the key that my father stole from here 7 years ago.
And it is very unique in that it is both a key and a knife. Meaning that under the guise of a key, it could have been easily brought into the theater. Gah! You couldn't dispose of the knife that stabbed you. Therefore, you wiped off the blood and placed it back in Mr. Cochin's pocket. After that, the key itself opens the safe in his office. And inside that safe, there was a document about Kodalfin paper signed by Mr. Cochin. In order to make it look like Mr. Cochin died as the leader of the smuggling ring, you managed to make it so that the police were the ones who opened that office safe. All that hard work to save yourself only served to destroy you in the end. Shall we try matching this knife's blade with your wound, Mr. Kirkus Alba?
Final breakdown!
And that is what some may call the coup de grace.
Impossible! You can't take me down! Swine, all of you! Especially Manny Cochin! And this is all because of that man's betrayal! He sought to steal control of the smuggling ring from me by removing me as ambassador. Which is why he deserved to die while bearing the guilt of all of my crimes for me. That's why I sent the Yatagarasu card and how his indictment was born. And how this incident was born. Manny was supposed to be the smuggling leader who was killed by the Yatagarasu. But I had yet another reason, yet another story that was supposed to play out. Manny's death was supposed to bring everything to a close. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling prosecutors.
Mr. Alba, I'm afraid there is one more question I forgot to ask. This country's, or Alabes, which country's court would you like to face first? Either way, it's game over for you.
It's war!
March 17th, 2019, 11:21 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2.
Phew! This is it. The big day. It's Mr. Alba's trial today.
and next week he's scheduled to stand trial in his own country in Alabest. Franziska is heading that one. I suspect she'll be serving a full course of whiplashes at it.
Having to face Miss Von Karma in court right after facing you, sir. Ugh. I don't even want to think of what that would be like. I caught a glimpse of Mr. Alba as he was being escorted into the courthouse. And boy, he looked about as glum as I do on the day before I get my monthly paycheck. You know, I've been thinking. That flight attendant, and even Mr. Portsman, were all Mr. Alba's secret agents.
Correct. That smuggling ring was the common thread between all the incidents. Camille was to provide support during smuggling ops, using her job as an attendant, and Mr. Portsman was to manipulate trials related to the ring to end in their favor.
Ugh, I fly airlines and even the prosecutor's office. No one is safe from the smuggling ring, huh, sir?
I suspect there are even more members of this ring spread throughout the world.
Yeah, it sounds like such a big up that I can't even begin to imagine what it's like.
Huh? What is it, Detective?
Nothing. It's just, well, come to think of it, Mr. Ernest Amino's trial is also scheduled for later today, sir.
I'm aware of that. Mr. Amano, who has also been working with the smuggling ring right for over 10 years. He used the Amano group's various connections worldwide to assist the ring. But all of that has come to an end as his conglomerate is now undergoing harsh scrutiny. I owe Mr. Amano a debt of gratitude, but he must pay his debt to society.
Well, with the arrest of both Mr. Alba and Mr. Amano, I guess that about wraps up the KG-8 incident as well, huh?
I suppose so. The real killer of the KG-8 incident 10 years ago was Manny Cochin. And 7 years ago, the killer of the second KG-8 incident was Mr. Macrell. Those two facts are the unmistakable truth. However, it seems that a lot of effort was put into hiding these and the other truths from us. And I expect that and I will expose it all at today's trial.
You're solving cases left and right today, aren't you, sir?
CCU and Dead Man. Perhaps now, these two brave souls who tried to make the truth known can rest in peace. By the way, I received some gifts from Ambassador Palladino. Shrimp, crab, beef. I don't need any of these, so I'm giving them to you.
What? Seriously, sir? Wait, actually, I don't think I want them anymore. The way you're holding them, don't tell me they're just coupons, sir.
Detective Gumshoe, have you not read the paper recently? Ever since the two countries became in Codopia again, its economy has changed.
Really?
And it seems that Ambassador Her Palladino has reaped a few benefits from his own from it. He has been announced as the official ambassador of the newly reunited Codopia.
Ah, but what a pity. Even though every item he sent us as a treasure, you don't seem all that interested. Well, if you don't want them, I can give them to my lovely assistant, Kay.
Oh wait, who said that?
Wait. Hey, that's not what I said.
It was Kay that was doing a imitation of Gumshoe.
Wait, that's not what I said. So, Mr. Edgeworth, please, let me have them, sir. Actually, come to think of it, where is Kay? Hey, how come she's still not here?
Hey, you gotta be more alert than that.
Yeah.
I can't believe you didn't notice. I was even mimicking Mr. Edgeworth's voice for a bit.
Oh, she was mimicking Edgeworth, not Gumshoe. I totally didn't notice you, or realize that voice was you. Longy says, ferocious love blooms with each new spring.
Agent Lang, a pleasant surprise to see you here.
It's been a long time since I set foot in the courthouse, but I wasn't going to miss. Watching the guy who screwed up my country finally get what's coming to him. Well, that and something else. I want you to see in action. I want to see you in action in court.
Is that so, Agent Lang?
We flushed out all of the current bills, counterfeit bills, so Zheng Fa is finally at peace again. And it's all thanks to you, so I just want to say thanks.
Wow, I never thought I'd see the day old Wolfie says thanks to Mr. Edgeworth.
I should be the one thanking you, Agent Lang. If you haven't hid Mr. Alba's extraterrestrial rights, I would not have been able to bring him to trial. I believe the victory belongs to the both of us in this case.
A shared victory, huh? Look, don't get me wrong. I'll still never forgive you prosecutors. And I have zero interest in that truth thing you talk about in court. I've always done things my own way, and that's not about to change. You got that?
I see. Well, I believe you should follow your own creed when you do your job.
Yeah, and if there's ever someone your precious truth can't catch, feel free to sit around and cry about it all you want. But as for me, I'm going to get that person no matter what.
Alright. It's about time for the trial to start. I will see you later.
I'll be watching your performance from the gallery. I'm looking forward to it. I prepared the whole ton of ticker tape. He for today's trial. Victory, sir.
I'll hope you throw some around when Mr. Edgeworth wins.
Hope you got enough, because I'm going to call my men up as well.
A modest amount of ticker tape goes a long way. scene shifts to the courtroom in the final act. The legend of the great thief Yatagarasu. It's the story of those who dedicated their lives in pursuit of justice. Prosecutors are those who... It's going on without me having a chance to read it, so if you want to read it, pause. Even though I've only been away from the courtroom... Oh wait, I thought it was done.
Objection!
And that's Ace Attorney Investigations. And I'd like to thank you all for joining me on this little adventure. And, will I be doing the sequel? Well, that's a bit of a gray area for me on the Ace Attorney series. Since the game's sequel has been around since 2011, and it's on the Android and Nintendo DS, but unfortunately to this day, it's never gotten an English release. The main reason is most likely because this game and its sequel didn't sell very well in Japan, or overseas for that matter, so unless Capcom does a thing like they did with Ace Attorney, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, I don't think we're gonna get a legitimate English version of the game anytime soon. There is a fan translation for it, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it or not. Only way I'll probably do it is if there's a very high popular demand in me doing it. So unless there's a lot of people that want to see me do it, I'll probably make a poll at the after this video asking if you guys want me to do it or not. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, thank you everybody for joining me through this adventure of Ace Attorney Investigations. I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and if you did and would love to see me do more Ace Attorney stuff, hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment if you want, ring that bell to be notified when our next video series come out. We do new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and occasionally Saturday and Sundays. All this helps my channel to grow so you guys have more videos to enjoy. Till the next series, this is Saur Darkchylde, signing off. Have a good night, folks!
I feel so much better now, that the trial's over. And, as always, your legal prowess was top-notch, sir.
Yeah, and nothing beats the look of Mr. Alba's face when you revealed the ring's secrets. I was amazed. You were like a totally different person when you step into the courtroom.
Mr. Edgeworth has always been 10 times fiercer in court.
Based on the information from Mr. Alba's offered us, they've begun large-scale operations to clean up the rest of the ring, which I'm happy to leave to Franziska and Agent Lang.
So, what are your plans now, Kay?
Oh, well, we've taken care of the creep who killed my father, so I'm not sure. Hey, I know. Maybe I'll just keep on doing Mr. Edgeworth's assistant.
What? Are you still trying to steal my job, pal?
Just kidding, just kidding. I can't steal something so important to you, Gummy.
Phew, that's a relief.
Hey,
Yes?
even after all that's happened, are you still planning to become the great thief?
Of course! But I don't want to tarnish the legend of the noble Yatagarasu. So I'm going to hold off on doing anything until I make a tight 3-person team of my own.
A 3-person team?
A 3-person team of young beauties. He's the same age as me, if possible.
With those criteria, I highly doubt you'll find the two other people you need.
My father chose to fight for the truth. I think that's what's so noble about him. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, the only thing I will ever steal are the truths that have been hidden away. I'm going to work extra hard to make a world where the Yatagarasu isn't needed.
Let's both strive for such a future.
Well, I guess it's time for me to get going.
I see.
Hey, keep your chin up and stay strong, okay? And don't be a stranger.
Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be sure to break the lock on the window and sneak in.
If you could, I appreciate if you can come in through the building's front door.
It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. The lock on my window at home has been broken for forever.
Oh, and one last thing before I go. Let's take a group picture, just the 3 of us.
Yeah, a commemorative photo. Oh, every big case has to end with one.
No.
Hey, why not?
Don't tell me you're camera shy, Mr. Edgeworth.
Of course not, Detective.
Come on now, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm taking the picture now. Hey, come back here!
Mr. Edgeworth, you can't run away from this, sir.
Hey, Detective Gumshoe! Stop that! I can't see.
Okay, I'm taking it now.
And thus the long tale of the KG-8 incident came to a close. I saw the demise of the smuggling ring and the birth of the great thief. But there is little time to relax, for I am eager to tackle the investigation into a new case. The reason for my eagerness is my want to pursue the truth and my want to believe in the strength of those who use the power of the law for good. As someone who has chosen to live my life as a prosecutor, that is my creed.